I'm more than just an option. Refuse to be forgotten. I took a chance with my heart, and I feel it taking over. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I bet if I give all my love, then nothing's gonna tear us apart. Hip-hop artist Drake is widely known for his rap skills, but thanks to his smooth vocals, he's able to make hits from his singing alone. Want to know how he does it? How he gets that smooth tone? Well, let's break down the technique behind it. When it comes to being a serious singer, it's important to learn to hear a voice and technically interpret it just as much as we artistically interpret it. A lot of times when we listen to a singer, we say, oh, they sound good or they sound bad. And that's fine, but we want to think they sound good because, or they sound bad because. So, if you like the way Drake sounds, he sounds good because, and let's analyze what's technically there. For one, let's look at his tone. His tone is lacking in compression. So it's not, I better find your, it's not pushed and forced, it's very light. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. It's very soft, so it's not as compressed. So if we think of, I like to use the analogy of an adjustable hose. So if we have the hoses, you know, the spray hoses that water comes out of, you, if you have it on the wide spray setting, it's like, ah. But if we compress it so that it's that jet stream, he's not using that hard sound, he's using a much lighter sound. So that's what we're aiming for. But the problem that a lot of singers have when they aim for that lighter sound is that instead of, I better find your loving, I better find your heart, we get, I better find your loving, I better find, and we start to heave. So how do we get the light, breathy, smooth sound without it being too breathy and it sounding like we're about to pass out? I'm going to show you how. If you're a Drake fan, you know that Drake takes voice lessons. A lot of his vocal training centers around balancing breath flow through the vocal folds, or what we call the Bernoulli effect. One way to implement this is with a simple lip roll. A lip roll will help to balance out the flow of air through the cords so that all the surrounding muscles around the larynx can stay relaxed and our tone can be free and we feel like we're in control of it. Let's take the first line. I'm more than just an option. We want it to be smooth, so what we do is we lip roll that note, and instead of just singing it, I'm more than just an option, what I'm going to do is, and I lip roll through it. Do it about 3 to 5 times on each line. Rest. Rest. Or do it more if you want to. Then go back and sing it again. I'm more than just an option. And see how you're able to get that lighter sound, that slightly breathy sound, without it feeling like it's getting away from you. Another thing to make note of, if it still feels too breathy or like you're not able to control your breath, if you're getting, I'm more than just, then compress the sound a little bit. Drake's tone is not as compressed as, say, Trey Songz belting out a big loud high note or a rock singer screaming, but it's compressed enough for it to carry. So it's not, I'm more than just, it's, I'm more than just, and it's not all the way compressed to, I'm more than just, it's not that compressed, but it's just compressed enough. So try adding a little bit of clarity in there, just enough to where you get a little bit of that hazy, light sound that you want, but to where you still feel like you're in control of it. Think light speaking voice. So if you were to speak it, I'm more than just an option. Yeah, that's really plain, right? Really plain. But if we lighten it up, if we say, I'm more than just an option, if I was like to speak lightly, then I put it to pitch. I'm more than just an option. And it's still very talky, but we can work with it. And keep in mind, speaking voice coordination just means that you use the same ease and the same amount of effort or lack thereof with which you speak. It doesn't mean that it all has to be monotone, because we speak up and down a scale all the time. From, oh, I can't believe you, we do all that when we talk, especially if we're excited or if we're angry, and we go up and down, so keep that in mind. So, I'm more than just an option. Just think of speaking gently and speaking lightly, and you'll find that coordination will naturally come. Don't think of singing as all the way over here and speaking as all the way over there. They're like this. They're like twin brothers, or brother and sister, or whatever. They're related. For many of you, the verses will be very easy. It's in a pretty comfortably low part of the range for the average male, and at the worst it'll seem pretty low if you're a female trying to sing it as well. But when we get to the chorus, I better find your lovin'. If you're like me, then this note here is right on that bridgy area where you start to transition or into your mixed voice. So it can feel for a lot of you like, I better find, like a push or a pull, and it might make it hard to get that freedom. And we want to add a little bit of emphasis here, but we don't want it to sound strained and pulled. So what we can do, utilizing the lip roll again, lip roll on the note, get right on that note, and open up from the lip roll. And find your comfortable place there. You might have to play with it for a while, but you can find it. Also remember that as you're going up, don't reach for it by pushing more volume or by trying to increase the volume and getting louder. Keep it relaxed. So instead of, I better find, keep it light. And so the same volume that you were using with, I'm more than just an option, I better find your lovin'. See how it's all still there? And it might take a little bit of practice, but the hardest part usually, from what I notice when working with my clients, is the mental element. Because you feel like it's high, I've got to push. But remind yourself, no you don't. Remind your vocal cords, stay with the same coordination that you were using before. You don't have to push extra. So go back to the chorus volume, I'm more than just an option, and use that as you go to the I better find your lovin', and see how it naturally puts you in that place. Also, don't forget, we can still use the lip roll to go all the way through that chorus. I better find your lovin', I better find your heart. Whatever the note is, you can use the lip roll to get you through. And if you need to focus on one particular note, then single out that note and maintain the lip roll there. As you're maintaining the lip roll, a couple things to think about. Number one, make sure that you're not blowing with all your might. Focus on creating the tone. Focus on that ba-ba-ba, that solid B sound. So your lip roll is not supposed to be airy, even if you're aiming for a light, even almost breathy tone. Stylistically, you can get away with a breathy tone if your technique is on point. Make your lip roll as clear as possible. So, that's not actually the note, but whatever the note may be, make it clear. Don't let it be where you're pushing. That's not going to do you any good. You're just teaching your body to tense more. And alright, it's making my neck not feel great. Another thing, relax your stomach muscles. Your stomach will naturally move in as you make the sound. But if it's locking tight, like rock hard abs, punch me in the stomach abs, then it's going to hinder the breath flow, the natural breath flow. And it's going to make it really hard for you to transition into the mixed part of your voice or your upper register. And that's for any song. But if you're finding that your lip roll keeps stopping on you, if you get that doesn't mean to get frustrated, it doesn't mean to quit, it doesn't mean that you can't do it, it doesn't mean your lips aren't moist enough, it doesn't mean your lips are too small or your lips are too big. I hear all the excuses. All it means is that your diaphragm hasn't yet learned to support that sound the way it needs to, or you're overly tensing things that don't need to be tense, or you're not focusing on the tone and you're trying to push breath through. So remember, focus on making a ba-ba, clear sound. Your vocal folds will draw the air that they need. You don't have to push it out. You don't have to. That's not the way to do it. Just relax it, okay? Keep that stomach relaxed. And the last part is just keep going through it. Your body will learn. I know it's frustrating. You might keep stopping like 15 times, but on the 16th time, that might be the time that it smooths out. So if you get take a little breather and then go back. If you can't go through the whole thing on a lip roll, then you're not ready to sing it. The lip roll not only is a tool for smoothing out the tone and smoothing out the breath and protecting the voice, but it's also a great, I consider it like what I call it as a black light. You know how you ever see like on the news shows they show a black light in a hotel room and it reveals all the stuff that you couldn't see with the naked eye? A lip roll does a similar thing with your breath control. It shows you the weak spots and exposes tension that you might have. So if you're having difficulty going through it on the lip roll, then your breath flow isn't right. Get it straight on the lip roll first. I promise you, the smoother your lip roll is going through that and the more effortless it is, the smoother and more effortless your singing will be. So give it a shot, and I guess that's it. I decided to do this weekly series of how to sing like ... whoever it may be, because I get so many emails every week from people saying, you know, how does Trey Songz do this? How does Hayley Williams do that? How does I don't know, Renee Fleming do this? And just citing all these singers, and they're like, how do they do this tone? How do they go in falsetto here? How do they sing in this in chest voice? How do they do this in mix? And so basically I have I have tons and tons of emails just from people wanting to know how to do certain things that other singers do. And while I don't encourage copying by any means, I want you to understand the techniques there. And there's nothing wrong with being influenced by other artists. And I want you to learn the technical skills that other artists are implementing so that you can add that to your arsenal of vocal effects and vocal powers, so to speak. So yeah, every week for the next several weeks I'll be tackling a different artist and a different element of technique, and I'll try to go through as many genres as I can. I've already gotten on the list, I think, Moby, Trey Songz, Paramore, and a whole bunch of other ones, and I've already got them written out. And so if you have any other requests, send them in. I'm already kind of backed up with them, but I'll tackle as many as I can, I promise. And so until next week, peace. Check out more free videos or buy my voice strengthening home study program at aapproach.com.